I want you to listen to me because I'm going to tell you everything about propaganda and visual arts in America in World War I and if it contributed to a total war for America. Propaganda is often used as a synonym for lies, falsehood, deceit, and brainwashing. Its purpose is to make a group of people behave and think in a certain way by directly telling them what to believe in. Propaganda-like ideas originated from the ancient Greeks. The first real propaganda was used in the medieval times when the Roman Catholic Church tried to spread their beliefs through the commission of cardinals. The Roman Catholic Church used the College of Propaganda to educate the soon-to-be priests who would go on missions to distribute their religion over many regions. Next, it was used in doctrines. The propaganda advanced constantly with new technology. During World War I, the meaning of propaganda transformed into sinister tragedies. The most commonly used type of spreading propaganda during World War I was visual art, as in posters, because television and radio was still poorly developed. The most famous poster was painted by James Montgomery Flagg. It's called I Want You and was to recruit men for the army. Another famous poster from World War I was The Greatest Mother in the World by Alonzo Earl Forner. It caused 16 million Americans to join the Red Cross. It was inspired by the Renaissance painting of Maria holding Jesus. Another poster portrayed a gorilla with a club holding a half-naked woman, provoking hatred of the enemy and enlisting to the army. It is called Destroy This Mad Brute, Enlist U.S. Army. Some posters were urging people to buy Liberty bonds, which resulted in $23 billion in bond raised. There were also a lot of posters seeking to recruit women to the war effort. For example, on Her, Their Lives Depend. The posters used during World War I transformed over the years. First, the posters were rather cheerful. Then, they were more depressed. In the beginning, the focus of the posters was to recruit men. Later, they focused on the help of women. And then they started to demonize the enemy. Overall, the general message of the posters was that everyone's help was needed.
Other examples of propaganda in America in the early 20th century are patriotic movies from Hollywood, like the pro-war films The Battle Cry for Peace, pacifist films, for example, All Quiet on the Western Front, and the Kaiser films, for example, To Hell with the Kaiser, which all demonized the enemy. There were also festive flag paintings, for example one called Allies Day, May 1917. In magazines and newspapers, there was a dedicated advertisement space for cartoons and illustrations from the Division of Pictorial Publicity about the war. Music was composed and performed like the background music of this video, Over There, which was used to recruit soldiers and evoke a vicious image of the enemy, in this case the German. There were also successful radio broadcasts. Furthermore, the censorship of many news had as a result that many people rarely received true facts about the war. When there was a victory, the news were exaggerating about it, and when there was a defeat, the news downplayed the failure. As a result, critics of the Committee for Public Information said that artists and the visual arts had been used to promote dishonest and censored messages during the war. Also, speeches were often used to portray the enemy, especially Germany, as cruel and even as unchristian. This emphasized the intentions of demonizing the enemy, because the government felt like that was the best way to build and maintain support for the war. The most famous anti-German speeches were given by the 4-Minute Men, a kind of official speaker's office. Therefore, through propaganda, everyone living in the United States was urged to participate in the war effort in one way or another. Since it was a great success for the propagandists, they contributed to a total war in the home front of the United States.